Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a coffee and chat. I'm gonna make coffee and tell you a little bit of a story about limiting belief because I know some of you guys really like it. I'm gonna tell you how I'm currently deconstructing a limiting belief that I've identified. First off, making a V60 with this coffee by Team Venebo. It's a Kenyan Capso Kisio, washed, roasted a month and a half ago. I just bought it in Cabane where I was last weekend. It was a recommendation from Pierre-Jacques, and I'm just gonna do my regular recipe. All right, I've got my little thing here, this here. Water is hot, hot, hot. Here we go, pre-infusion, and then maybe I'll be able to start talking about something else. All right, as you know, I'm in a bit of an in-between professionally, if you've seen my video about being fired by Leslie. I'm taking the time to really process, integrate what happened because emotionally it's quite brutal. It's a big shift and it's quite violent. I don't want to rush things, but I'm still thinking about where I want to go next and how I want to go about it because I don't want what happened at Nestle to happen again, right? I'm trying to figure out what it is that I wish, what it is that I don't want, and what it is that I can do so it doesn't replicate. And one thing I did was asking the tarot, because I pull cards, and I asked, what do I need to do? Maybe what do I need to heal in order to not reproduce that? And what I read in the cards was mostly that I didn't have much to do because I had already done quite a bit of work. And besides processing the emotions, I didn't have much to do. However, I would have to let people in, meaning that what I read from the tarot was like, you don't have much to do, it will come from other people, but you do have to let them in. Let me just remove the little iced bowl before I forget, as I usually do, by making a mess. I started thinking, what do you mean I don't let people in? And I was like, okay, that's true that as a child, I was very much used to doing things on my own and to make sure that I didn't need anyone, that my caregivers didn't have to support me or give me any energy or time because my little brother has a disability. It caused quite a bit of worry for my family, quite a bit of stress and a bit of guilt. There was a lot of energy focused on him, and I think I kind of absorbed that, being like, we need to focus on my little brother, we need to focus on him feeling good. And I was healthy, right? I was healthy, I was good at school, I was the good little girl, the eldest. I think I integrated that belief that the focus needs to be on other people, that I can't shine. Like if I shine, I need to be good enough that I'm not gonna create worry, but at the same time, not shine too much that my little brother doesn't feel not good enough. There was a bit of that balance to find. And the other thing was that my parents were quite busy dealing with their own stuff. And so they didn't really have the energy or time to really pay attention to my needs. And yeah, to what I needed and what I craved. And I don't think I was asking for it either. Subconsciously, that's the way I adapted. And so when they were trying to help me, it was in a way that I deemed not good, not appropriate for what I actually needed. And I guess that because I wasn't requesting much, I wasn't requiring much, when they tried to help me, they didn't really have the tools to understand what it was that I needed. Basically, I integrated two limiting beliefs from that. It took me a bit of writing down last night when I was doing this to really pinpoint these two limiting beliefs, which is almost one. The limiting belief I have is that I am not the one people need to take care of. I am the one who needs to take care of other people. That's one limiting belief. I have to be self-sufficient because I'm not someone who is allowed to be taken care of. And I need to be autonomous enough that I can take care of others. That's one. And the other one is that I don't deserve to be taken care of. I wrote that in French, so I don't really remember exactly now that I'm talking about it. By the way, pouring is done. It's 4 minutes. That's a bit long, but the coffee, I just opened it. Even though it's a month and a half old, it was in the bag closed, so I'm not surprised that it took a bit of a longer time, because of the carbon dioxide that is probably still stuck in the beans. I'll try again with the same grind setting, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow and the following days, pretty sure it will run quicker. Anyway, so I did identify those two beliefs. I tend to not let people help me, and I tend to attract people who don't have the energy or the time or the space to support me, or I tend to attract people who don't see the point of supporting me. And I'm also reflecting that back to them by being so autonomous. I'm not saying I was never supported by anyone. That's not what I'm saying, but I tend to attract more of that kind of people and situations. What I did is I took those beliefs and I found four points that support it in my mind. Let's say I need to be autonomous and I'm not the one who is allowed to be taken care of. I need to be the one who takes care of others. Proof one, my little brother is disabled and my parents need to be able to focus on him and my caregivers in general. And so I need to be autonomous so they don't waste energy and time on me. Another one would be that, because then it repeated in my professional career, right? Well, I need to be autonomous because in coffee, and if you're into coffee, that's in professional coffee, that might ring a bell for you as well. The thing is, if you want to become a barista, at least 15 years ago, and still today, there's not that much standards to refer to. So you have to evolve and grow and learn on your own. There's a community you can be inspired by and you can learn from. And I definitely was in a coffee community that was very inspiring and motivating when I was in Australia, when I started. But then I went to France, and when I went back to France, with all the knowledge and experience I had gained in Australia and all the exchanges that I could have with other baristas, the level was not quite the same in France. And so I felt like I was on my own to try and defend the barista job and the value that the barista could bring and the value that the barista should receive in return. And so I repeated that. I was also in hospitality. Hospitality is not really a place where, again, there's a lot of structure depending on which kind of hospitality you are. Hotel, big hotel, different, but small restaurants. Anyway, so I found four arguments like this, not only from experience, but also from just belief that I had. That, again, if I have the skills, if I have the knowledge, then I don't need the support. Or another one that is probably hindering for me is that no one else but me knows best what is good for me. And I think that could be a self-limiting belief as well, but that's something that I've probably carried from my childhood and from the fact that I've always attracted people who either didn't have the time, the energy, the space to support me, help me, defend me, protect me, but also people maybe didn't have the possibility to do it or to do it well. Like they tried, but they didn't have the context and the tools and whatever to properly help me. And I think that, again, I probably matched with these people a lot more. And also I probably, like the people who could help me and support me and give me what I needed, I wouldn't see them. That's how limiting beliefs work. That was the work I did last night. Got to bed quite late, and we'll see what changes from there. After I wrote down the 4 points that supported the limiting belief, I rewrote the limiting belief into a positive one, which is I deserve and receive support from amazing people who have time and energy and space to give it to me with pleasure, like they want to do it. And so I've wrote it in big, I've scratched the old beliefs, and that's it. That's the work I did. And this is something that really helped me in the past to work like this. I'm hoping it will help again. And if that's helpful to you, let me know. Bye-bye.